All things bright and beautiful, all creations great and small. All things all the wonderful, the blood. Oh, well, I remember my days in primary school. Anyway, welcome to the show Spring Trend on Western Spring Television. My name is Emmanuel Ujadegele, and we'll go straight to what we have for you today. But in the meantime, you can follow us on all our social media handles at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course on YouTube. You can also subscribe to our channel. So I'm trying to get something for you on my phone and on my tab here. And let's get down to business. Yesterday, an 18-year-old girl, Nkechi Belanwoko, apologized to her bestie, one Richard Ebuka Osita, 24, for jokingly accusing him of rape. Now let's take a listen to that girl's apology before we go to the comments the Nigerians had on that story.
Hi Richard, I'm sorry for forcefully accusing you of rape, and I went way out of line, and I'm really sorry, and for whatever I've caused you, for whatever I've done to you, I'm truly sorry, and to never happen again, please.
Now, in the history of apologies, I have never seen an apology so watery, so unapologetic like that. You're doing an apology and you are checking yourself out on Snapchat. You are using filter to do apology when you should be cooling off in prison. Now, there seems to be a growing trend of women who get scorned by men and use these allegations as punishment. The truth is, rape and sexual abuse of any form stands condemned. It is despicable and condemnable, and so also are false rape allegations. So let's take comments to that story this morning. We begin with Mo Baby says, false rape allegations are the worst. Women who do this need to be sanctioned. There has to be a serious punishment for ladies that do things like this. False allegations like this coming from Busayo Joan. False allegations like this cast more doubt on several genuine allegations of rape, and I hate it. We take one step forward and these false accusers take us 10, 20 steps backward. Stiga Jr. says, most guys are in prison because one wicked woman made a false rape allegations on them and they had no one to defend them. She's clearly one of those women, and I believe she's done it before. Bro, fear them. Forever Dark Breed says she's literally riding on the ridiculousness of the Believe All Women campaign and the failure to make false allegations illegal. Now they see them now. Real rape victims will soon lose their voice on this, and we know who to blame. Great Mexican says, you accuse somebody of rape and you're using a video with Snapchat filter to apologize. Haha, haha, and haha again. Tyler the Aspilicueta says, second time I'm seeing a woman on this platform apologize for using false rape allegations as a weapon of some sort. Whatever the motivation or place this wave is coming from, it's worth $44 billion. That's how expensive re-engineering culture is. You will learn. Alaba Ogini says, dear Richard, talking about the guy who was apologized to, if this girl doesn't end up in jail with this freely obtained confession to a crime, you've done a disservice to yourself and innocent men locked up on false rape allegations worldwide. And Jemima says, I don't think people understand the problems with false rape allegations. You are suppressing the voices of the real victims and you are ruining lives. Please, these topics are too sensitive to joke with. And that is the truth. Consul Pero says, I hope we can address the issue of women coming out boldly to say they can use false rape allegations on men and then come back to apologize and nothing will happen. People just read, shake their head and pass. When one spend quality time for jail, the rest will take dressing. And Chukudi says, both false rape allegations and actual rapes are serious issues that can have devastating consequences for all parties involved. It is not productive or helpful to compare them or say that one is worse than the other. Truly, none is worse than the other. Both are equally worse. Both are equally terrible, rather. One can ruin lives, the other can ruin lives. Both of them are despicable things that should not be done by anybody at all. Now, away from that story, away from the condemnation by Nigerians there, let's move over to the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, releasing a statement yesterday in the aftermath of that leaked audio conversation between Bishop Oyedepo, David Oyedepo of the Living Faith Chapel, and presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, the NCC has come out to say that it does not track or record calls. So let's take the statement from the NCC this morning. The NCC in a statement says, the Nigerian Communications Commission has refuted allegations of tracking and leakage of telephone calls, saying it does not and cannot carry out such acts by law. The NCC's Director of Public Affairs, Ruben Moka, in a statement on Tuesday, noted that the Commission had been inundated with inquiries on claims of telephone tracking and leakage by some individuals and groups on social media. According to Moka, the Commission clarifies that it denies the allegations in their entirety. It added that by the provisions of the Nigerian Communication Act NCA 2003 and other extant laws of the Federation, the Commission does not and cannot track nor leak telephone conversations of anyone. The Commission restated its commitment to discharge its responsibilities to Nigerians in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the NCA 2003, and other extant laws of the Federation and global best practices. Nigerians were actually not having that explanation. To them, it wasn't enough. And let's see what they had to say on social media. We'll begin with Facebook. We started on Facebook for this story. And Wisdom Uchechukwu Ananaba is our first commentator. He says, NCC doesn't need to deny or defend anything. Sane people know that lies spread faster than the truth. However, the truth will always prevail. It's funny when the incumbent party becomes the opposition party. They should jettison frivolities and attend to serious issues bothering the nation. Zubilov says, if there is no actual source, then tell me how they can use it against him or prove it if they go to court. Funny people. Besides, there's nothing wrong with the call. They're just looking for a cheap blasphemy against him, but they will never find any. Oziel Eris Alexander says, so why has NCC refused to track the calls, conversation of bandits and kidnappers who just mess things up because of politics and frivolities? Carl Prince Kelly says, so who did it? Make una just the play. When people said it was doctored, they didn't deal with it. They thought we didn't know what we were saying. Who records even when phone is ringing? Wow, some questions there to be answered. Rachel Chechemato says, this country now, wow, this country now, so stories. Other countries are celebrating wins. We dare just they drag things up and down. This country needs healing. Hi, from one story to another, we are tired. They should leave Obi and focus on the go to court. We're already in court, so make them free that man. I beg. Chimaji Apollo says, so can they track the person that published the audio? The audio can be tracked. This is a modern society. Everything is digital. Are they invincible? Are they invisible? Invisible is different from invincible. One day we'll start our pronunciation classes on the show. So we moved over to Twitter, where some persons quoted that story as reported by Channels Television. The question is, where are those people getting all these leaked phone conversations, if not from the NCC, or is it from the network providers? Questions. Okay, James comes next. He says, who now did it? They are custodians of privacy. Yes, who did it? Who did it? Distinguished Aidman MIT says, by this hasty release, it clears every doubt and establishes that they do. Who is the Minister of Communications again? Akinwumi Olutayo is our next commentator. He says, Limao, will they come out to say, yes, we did it? The fact that they denied now means it is 100% certain they did it. I don't know why Nigerians have so little faith in the government and its institutions. Some people joke and say if the government tells you good morning check outside, it might be 9 p.m. I don't know where that came from and why people say that, but I hope that one day the government is able to restore confidence in its system and in itself. Now we'll move over to the foreign scene. We've taken some stories from Nigeria, but on the foreign scene, the former president of the United States of America, Donald Trump, is facing trial. 34 counts of felony. He stands to risk 104 years, over 100 years in jail term, if found guilty on each of these counts. And yesterday was arraigned in court. He was arrested afterwards in New York. But let's take a listen to what the person trying him, the Attorney General Alvin Bragg, had to say.
Earlier this afternoon, Donald Trump was arraigned on a New York Supreme Court indictment returned by a Manhattan grand jury on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records in the first degree. Under New York state law, it is a felony to falsify business records with intent to defraud and an intent to conceal another crime. That is exactly what this case is about. 34 false statements made to cover up other crimes. These are felony crimes in New York State, no matter who you are. We cannot and will not normalize serious criminal conduct.
34 different charges. I wonder how former President Donald Trump would wriggle out of this. It seems to be a lot of people facing different trials and tribulations and challenges, and Trump is also having his own fair share of that. We have to see the end of that case and where it will terminate. President Trump, a president of firsts. So let's go straight to social media and see how some Americans and observers have given their comment on the show. Brian Krasenstein says, breaking: Trump officially arrested, first president to be impeached twice, first president to be indicted, first president to be arrested, first president to pay off a porn star, first president to claim he could shoot someone, first president to angrily throw ketchup across the room. What a winner. And by winner, I mean loser. What out if you're on Fifth Avenue? John Wick says, now that I've heard the legal argument for prosecution of President Donald Trump, I have one question. When will AGs across the nation prosecute Joe Biden for withholding damaging evidence prior to an election? Pandora's box has been blown wide open. Terrence K. Williams says, Trump is facing a 136 years in prison, 34 felony counts. These evil Democrats. President Trump was under arrest. This is sickening, heartbreaking, and destructive. Trump arraignment day is one of the darkest days in American history. We the people stand with President Trump. Vernon Jones says, what an indictment stretch on Trump. I'm sure Joe Biden and Hunter will get at least 68 counts collectively against them for concealing payment from Russia, China, and Ukraine. Call to Activism says, when I see this image of Donald Trump walking alone to face the criminal charges against him, what stands out to me is how alone and small he looks. No Melania, no Ivanka Jr. or Eric behind him, just alone and small. The irony is not lost on us that Donald Trump entered the arena wanting a wall. Now, as the walls are closing in on Trump, it appears he's going to get that wall around himself. Some metaphor there for prison. Chanovich says, the Trump indictment, which I read, will be laughable in any other circumstance. It's the same offense copied and pasted 34 times with the dates changed each time. This is the biggest farce I've ever seen. And the next commentator is Michelinius. He says, 34 felony count, outrageous. An innocent man hated, harassed, and now indicted. I'm so angry. Pray for President Trump and his family. Looking forward to his speech tonight. We stand with you, President Trump. Tony G says, this is all for a narrative that Trump was arrested and a criminal that to be used by the establishment on repeat during the election cycle. I stand with Trump. Representative Ellis Stefanik says Trump has been facing political persecution since 2016. Alvin Bragg must answer under oath for the illegal weaponization of his office. And the Daily Show says, I haven't seen Trump this bumped since he heard Mike Pence made it out alive. You can see the man's face there. He doesn't look particularly happy. I don't think anyone will look really happy and joyful while facing trial or standing trial for criminal charges. Well, that's where we end the show today. That's where we'll leave the show. I'll leave you with that video of that young lady apologizing. And you can tell us what you make of it by responding, by tagging us to your comments on Facebook, on Instagram at Western Spring Television, and on Twitter at WSTV_NG. Tell us what you make of this apology, if it should be accepted, and what you think should be done about false rape allegations. My name is Emmanuel Ujadigele, E.M. Ujadigele on Twitter. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Hi, Richard. I'm sorry for falsely accusing you of rape, and I went way out blind. sorry, and for whatever I've caused you, for whatever I've done to you. I'm truly, truly, truly sorry, and it will never happen again. Please.